Imagine it's a crisp Sunday morning. The light filters softly through your kitchen window, and you're anticipating the simple pleasure of a ripe tomato, its bright scarlet flesh glistening on your cutting board. But as you slice into it, you pause. Something is missing. The sweet aroma you remember, the vibrant juiciness that made every bite a delight, has vanished into an insipid, mealy shadow of its former self. It's a scene familiar to many seniors who have long treasured the flavors of fresh, wholesome ingredients, only to find that the very act of refrigeration has muted their best qualities. What if those everyday habits stucking bread beside the milk, tucking potatoes in the crisper air, quietly diminishing both taste and nutrition? Today, we're peeling back the door to reveal 10 surprising foods that simply can't stand the cold, and showing you how a few simple changes can restore flavor, maximize nutrients, and bring back the joy of eating well. 1. 10 foods you should never refrigerate. It's easy to assume that the colder something is, the longer it will last. Yet our refrigerators can actually be the very thing that robs certain foods of their peak flavor, texture, and nutritional quality, an important consideration for seniors who deserve every possible sensory pleasure and health benefit from their meals. Take tomatoes, for example. Their natural juices swell with sweetness as they ripen at room temperature, and when chilled, that vibrant ripeness stalls, leaving behind a mealy, muted fruit that no longer evokes the pleasure of a sun-warmed garden. A ripe tomato is at its best when allowed to linger on the countertop, where gentle warmth nurtures its aroma and ensures that each bite releases the balance of bright acidity and mellow sweetness that seniors often relish in salads, sandwiches, or simply sliced with a sprinkling of sea salt. Bread, too, pays a heavy price for a brief stay in the fridge. Though you may have tucked yesterday's loaf between the milk and yogurt thinking it will stay fresher, the chilling air actually accelerates the process by which starch molecules recrystallize, turning soft crumb into a stiff relic of its former self. Senior hands that once shaped sandwiches with ease now struggle to slice through a loaf that feels almost frozen in time. Instead, keeping bread in a cool, dry pantry preserves that pillowy texture and ensures that the simple ritual of a morning toast or a late afternoon snack remains a small but cherished pleasure. Onions and garlic share similar tendencies. Though the fridge seems like a convenient storage spot, the humidity and cold signal these bulbs to sprout or soften, and mold can take hold more quickly than you realize. When garlic begins to shoot little green sprouts, its pungent flavor turns bitter, robbing dishes of the gentle warmth that only fresh cloves can impart. Onions, likewise, lose their firm snap and develop damp patches that can even taint neighboring foods with an overpowering scent. Instead, seniors can store these pantry staples in woven baskets or mesh bags on a cool shelf, where air can circulate freely and preserve both the firmness of each clove and the unmistakable aroma that enhances a steaming bowl of soup or a skillet of sautéed vegetables. Perhaps most surprising is the fate of humble potatoes. In a cold environment, potato starches gradually convert to sugars, which may sound harmless but actually alter cooking reactions, producing higher levels of acrylamide, a compound linked to health concerns, and yielding fries or mashed potatoes that taste unnaturally sweet or brown, too sharply on the edges. For older adults mindful of both flavor and nutrition, keeping potatoes in a paper bag tucked away from direct light allows them to remain firm and flavorful, ready to become a comforting mash or a nourishing stew without unexpected chemical changes. Coffee drinkers should also depart from the conventional wisdom of refrigeration. Coffee beans and grounds are voracious sponges for moisture and surrounding odors, so storing them in the fridge can lead to a cup that tastes stale or carries hints of last week's leftovers. Seniors who look forward to that first aromatic sip of morning coffee will find that an airtight container in a cool cabinet offers the best protection, preserving the nuanced oils and full-bodied aromas that make coffee a ritual of comfort and energy. Few ingredients are as misunderstood as honey, nature's sweet miracle, which in reality never spoils at room temperature. When chilled, honey crystallizes into gritty clumps that obscure its smooth sweetness. A jar left on the countertop, however, stays fluid and fragrant, ready to drizzle over oatmeal, fruit, or a slice of whole grain toast. Similarly, olive oil should never endure the cold confinement of a refrigerator, where it turns cloudy and thick before eventually solidifying, dulling the bright, peppery notes that enliven salads, soups, and simple bread dips. A dark glass bottle stored in the pantry maintains olive oil's delicate balance of antioxidants and healthy fats, ensuring each drizzle feels like a small celebration for senior palates. Bananas may seem harmless in the fridge, but their skins darken at first touch of cold, and the chilling halts the ripening process that fills the fruit with natural sugars. Seniors who enjoy the tender bite and mellow sweetness of a perfectly ripe banana will find that leaving it on the counter until just the right moment preserves its flavor, and only if you need to pause further ripening for a day or two is a brief stint in the cold worth considering. Whole melons, watermelon, cantaloupe, honeydew belong in that same room temperature environment until they are cut, because chilling them too soon diminishes both their antioxidant content and their juicy flavor. Once sliced, of course, they should be tightly wrapped and refrigerated to keep them fresh. But until that moment, a countertop throne lets them bask in the warmth they were meant to enjoy. By understanding these 10 fridge-averse foods: tomatoes, bread, onions, garlic, potatoes, coffee, honey, olive oil, bananas, and whole melon, seniors can transform daily meals from routine chores into moments of genuine enjoyment. Storing these items properly not only preserves their natural tastes and textures, but also honors the body's need for nutrient-rich, flavorful nourishment as we age. In this way, a simple adjustment, returning certain foods to the realm of room temperature, can spark renewed pleasure in cooking and eating, inviting a deeper connection to the ingredients that sustain and delight us every day. 2. Hidden fridge pitfalls. It's easy to assume that once food is tucked behind a closed fridge door, it will be safe and fresh until you need it again. But the reality is often far more complicated, especially for seniors, for whom food safety and nutritional integrity are critical to maintaining health and vitality. One of the most pervasive pitfalls in everyday refrigerator use is overcrowding. When a fridge is jammed tight with containers, leftovers, and grocery bags, cold air cannot circulate properly. This uneven airflow means that some areas remain frigid, while others creep toward temperatures that encourage bacterial growth. A seemingly innocuous, overstuffed shelf can hide warm pockets where dangerous pathogens multiply, silently turning once safe meals into potential sources of foodborne illness. For older adults whose immune systems may not respond as vigorously to infection, this hidden hazard can lead to serious health consequences. So, a little breathing room for your food is far from a luxury. It is a necessity. Another common mistake springs from how leftovers are stored. Deep casserole dishes and pots, loaded straight from the stove into the back of the fridge, may feel convenient in the moment, but they trap heat and cool down far too slowly. When food remains in the danger zone, between 5 to 4 C and 60 to 4 C, 4100 and 40 to 4, for extended periods, bacteria can double in number every 20 minutes. Seniors who cherish home-cooked meals deserve a system that preserves flavor and nutrition without compromising safety. The key is to transfer hot dishes into shallow, wide containers as soon as possible, allowing them to shed heat quickly and evenly. Paired with date labels that mark exactly when the dish was stored, this practice not only prevents unseen bacterial growth, but also creates an easy rotation system. You always know which foods to enjoy first and which to discard in the name of safety. Closely related is the set and forget syndrome. Out of sight tends to become out of mind, and that leftover salad or half-empty jar of sauce in the corner of the fridge may quietly degrade into a toxic trap. Mold and bacteria do not always announce themselves with bright green fuzz or pungent odors. Sometimes the spoilage is invisible to the eye and nose until a senior unwittingly takes a bite. A brief 5-minute weekly ritual scanning every shelf and crisper, sniffing containers, and removing anything questionable can dramatically reduce the risk of accidental ingestion of harmful substances. For many older adults living on fixed incomes, minimizing waste also means stretching every grocery dollar further. So regular fridge maintenance serves both health and budgetary goals. Beyond simple spoilage, certain foods pose ongoing risks even when refrigerated properly. Deli meats and cold cuts, with their high moisture content and delicate pH balance, can harbor Listeria monocytogenes, a bacterium notorious for its ability to survive and even thrive under cold conditions. Seniors are particularly vulnerable to listeriosis, which can lead to hospitalization or worse, so any sliced luncheon meat should be consumed within 3 to 5 days of opening, with the packaging discarded immediately afterward. Soft cheeses, brie, camembert, feta curry, similar concerns. Their creamy textures and higher water activity create ideal breeding grounds for pathogens, meaning that a neat wedge of cheese, left untouched for too long, can quietly become a health hazard. Even pre-cut fruits and vegetables, beloved for their convenience, are more exposed to airborne microbes. Once the protective skin or rind is breached, the flesh becomes a playground for bacteria and mold spores, and refrigeration only slows rather than halts this process. Fridge odors are another subtle warning sign. That mild, vague funk you detect when you first open the door is more than an aesthetic annoyance. It often indicates that bacteria are at work. Odors permeate plastic and glass, and once your fridge walls absorb them, they can taint even well-stored foods. A monthly deep clean, emptying the shelves, washing every surface with a mild baking soda solution, and replacing an open box of baking soda to continually absorb ambient smells can break the cycle of hidden contamination. For seniors, creating a clean, fresh environment inside the refrigerator not only protects their food but also enhances confidence in their daily routines, reducing anxiety about whether every meal will be both tasty and safe. Taken together, these hidden pitfalls suggest that truly safe refrigeration for seniors extends beyond simply setting the thermostat to the right temperature. It demands an intentional habit of spacing out items for proper airflow, transferring hot dishes to shallow containers, dating every stored item, conducting weekly inspections, and heeding the special care needed for deli meats, soft cheeses, and cut produce. It means recognizing that a cluttered fridge is more than a visual nuisance, it is a breeding ground for invisible dangers. By adopting these mindful practices, older adults can enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing every bite is wholesome, nourishing, and free from the unseen threats that lurk behind the cold door. In the end, the refrigerator becomes more than an appliance. It is a vital partner in maintaining health, independence, and quality of life. For seniors who often face unique nutritional and immunological challenges, mastering these hidden pitfalls translates into safer meals, reduced medical risks, and greater satisfaction in every culinary moment. With simple, consistent habit-spacing items for airflow, cooling leftovers correctly, cleaning routinely, and storing certain foods with extra vigilance, seniors can transform their refrigerators from potential hazards into reliable guardians of their well-being. By shining a light on these unseen dangers, we empower older adults to reclaim confidence in their kitchens, knowing that the food before them has been treated with the respect, care, and attention that every nourishing meal deserves. 3. Ideal temperature, smart organization. Maintaining the right temperature and organizing your refrigerator thoughtfully can transform meal preparation from a fraught chore into a smooth, confidence-boosting ritual, especially for seniors, for whom clear habits and consistent routines can mean the difference between wholesome, nourishing meals and unexpected foodborne illness. First and foremost, understanding that the fridge should operate at or below 4°C, 40°F, and the freezer at or below 18°C, 0°F, is more than a technical specification. It is the foundation of food safety. At temperatures above 4°C, bacteria such as Salmonella and E. coli can begin to multiply rapidly, turning harmless leftovers into potential hazards. Likewise, a freezer that hovers above 18°C does little more than preserve the appearance of frozen food. It fails to halt enzymatic activity and freezer burn, leaving once promising meals dry, discolored, and nutritionally depleted. For seniors managing medications, chronic conditions, or even just a modest budget, avoiding these hidden risks ensures that every meal remains both safe and satisfying. Equally important is the realization that not all parts of the refrigerator are created equal. Cold air, like water, follows the path of least resistance, settling in lower compartments and nearer to the cooling element. On the bottom shelf, where temperatures are truly consistent, raw meats, poultry, and seafood belong in sealed, drip-proof containers. Storing these proteins below all other foods prevents any accidental juices from contaminating ready-to-eat items. In the middle section, where temperatures are slightly warmer but still reliably cool, eggs, dairy products, and pre-prepared dishes find their most fitting home. This placement means that each time you open the door, your yogurt, milk, and quiche are kept at a steady chill without undue exposure to warmer air currents. Finally, the topmost shelf is the prime real estate for leftovers, jams, jellies, dips, and condiments items that require minimal cooling fluctuation and carry no risk of cross-contamination if a seal breaks. Beyond the simple delineation of top, middle, and bottom lies the elegant tool of clear containers and thoughtful labeling. Seniors who sometimes find it hard to recall exactly when a dish was stored benefit immensely from transparent boxes marked with both the date and the contents in large, legible handwriting. A glance inside the fridge should immediately reveal what awaits, how long it has been there, and whether it is still good to eat. Using uniform containers not only economizes space stacking neatly, like building blocks, but also reduces the mental load of deciding what to eat. Instead of opening multiple jars, lifting lids, or tugging at vacuum seal bags, the eye catches the first well-labeled container, streamlining the decision process and preserving both appetite and autonomy. Then there are the crisper drawers, often overlooked or misused, yet remarkably powerful when employed correctly. Most refrigerators come with two compartments, one for high humidity and one for low. High humidity drawers create a moist environment, ideal for leafy greens, herbs, and tender vegetables, preventing them from wilting too quickly. Meanwhile, fruits such as apples, pears, and citrus thrive in low humidity drawers, where drier air slows the spread of mold. Seniors can further enhance these zones by lining the drawers with plain paper towels, which absorb excess moisture and keep produce fresh even longer. A simple weekly swap of the paper towels and a quick wipe of the drawer interior keeps bacteria and mold mildew at bay, minimizing food waste and maximizing the crisp, vibrant flavor that makes salads, juices, and snack plates truly inviting. Creating a refrigerator that hums with reliable operation and thoughtful arrangement also alleviates daily stress. Seniors who face challenges with vision, dexterity, or memory gain peace of mind from a system that they can learn and follow with ease. Placing frequently used items, yogurt cups, small jars of mustard or jam, or single-serve meal sat eye level means no stretching or stooping, reducing the risk of slips or overreaching. Heavier items such as gallon jugs of milk or juice can rest comfortably on the bottom shelf where they are secure and easy to slide in and out. In contrast, lighter, infrequently used ingredients such as specialty sauces or holiday leftovers can reside on the door shelves, which are slightly warmer but perfectly suited for robust condiments and sealed drinks. Routine checks and gentle maintenance complete the picture. A brief 5-minute inspection each week, opening each drawer, running a soft cloth along the shelves, and peeking at the dates on the label serves as a reassuring safety net. Seniors can turn this small chore into an empowering ritual, perhaps pairing it with a favorite radio show, a cup of tea on the kitchen counter, or a quick journal entry about what recipes they plan to cook in the coming days. Not only does this practice prevent unpleasant surprises like discovering a forgotten tub of mashed potatoes growing fuzzy in the back, it also offers a moment of mindfulness, connecting the act of caring for one's food with caring for oneself. Finally, remember that a well-organized fridge is an ally in both health and budget. When items are clearly visible, properly cooled, and stored in the right place, there is less temptation to overbuy or to toss food prematurely. Seniors on fixed incomes or managing medical diets can plan meals more effectively, knowing that ingredients are fresh, accessible, and ready to use. A colorful calendar or checklist affixed to the fridge door can remind them which items to prepare first and which to restock, turning the refrigerator into a command center for culinary well-being. In embracing these principles of ideal temperature and smart organization, seniors reclaim mastery over their kitchens. No longer daunting or mysterious, the refrigerator becomes a canvas for independence, nourishment, and joy. By setting the correct thermometer settings, dividing the space into purposeful zones, using clear, dated containers, and respecting the specialized climate of each section, from crisp, high humidity drawers to steady cool bottom shelf solder adults, ensure that every meal begins with safety and ends with satisfaction. This cultivation of order not only preserves the quality and flavor of food, but also nurtures a deeper sense of control and confidence, reminding us that even the humblest appliance can be a source of strength, health, and daily delight. 4. Extra tips, rituals. Amid the daily rhythms of managing household tasks and safeguarding one's health, seniors can cultivate a few thoughtful tips and rituals that transform the refrigerator from a mere storage box into a haven of nourishment, order, and even quiet joy. First, it is essential to honor the simple rule that anything which has been peeled, chopped, sliced, or otherwise stripped of its protective skin belongs in the cold without delay. By placing cut fruits and vegetables right into shallow, clearly labeled, airtight containers, you preserve not only their bright colors and satisfying crunch, but also their precious vitamins and minerals, ready to inspire a spontaneous salad or a comforting bowl of soup at a moment's notice. But preservation of physical health need not preclude the nurturing of spirit. Consider establishing a small joy shelf, a dedicated nook inside the refrigerator reserved for a single jar of jasmine honey, a wedge of your favorite aged cheese, or a tiny ramekin of homemade jam. Each time you open the door and catch sight of that cherished treat, it offers a gentle reminder that self-care is both practical and pleasurable, inviting you to pause, breathe, and savor a moment of sweetness in an otherwise routine chore. Moreover, subtle rituals can reinforce positive habits. Attaching a weekly gratitude note to the interior of the door, perhaps a short declaration of 3 things you are thankful for, turns the act of opening the fridge into an opportunity for reflection, shifting the mind away from any anxieties about health or diet and toward the simple blessings that enrich daily life. Yet food safety remains paramount, and seniors often juggle multiple medications, some of which require refrigeration. Allocating a small, clearly marked drawer or basket solely for refrigerated medicines isolated from raw meats, strong odors, and moisture ensures that prescriptions remain potent and uncontaminated, while eliminating any confusion about which items are for consumption and which are for healing. Similarly, when it comes to enjoying leftovers or prepared meals, a light warming before serving can profoundly enhance both flavor and digestion. A brief turn in the microwave or a gentle steam over the stove softens textures and unlocks aromas, turning even the simplest portions into comforting dishes that nourish both body and soul. Integrating these practices into a weekly routine, perhaps as part of a 5-minute kitchen check every Sunday afternoon, cements them into rhythm, so that cleanliness, organized storage, and mindful consumption become as automatic as brushing one's teeth. Over time, these small acts of intention coalesce into a larger tapestry of empowerment. By treating the refrigerator as an ally rather than an afterthought, seniors reclaim autonomy over their diets, reduce food waste, and cultivate moments of delight that brighten the day. The tactile satisfaction of handling crisp, perfectly chilled produce, the quiet pleasure of discovering a tiny treasure on the joy shelf, the warm aroma that greets you after a gentle reheating, and the uplifting practice of gratitude notes all work in concert to remind us that health is not merely the absence of illness, but a tapestry woven from routine, mindfulness, and simple pleasures. In these modest yet profound ways, The refrigerator transcends its functional role and becomes a mirror of how we care for ourselves, an ever-present testament to the fact that as we age, even the smallest corners of our home can inspire safety, independence, and a sense of vibrant living. 5. The 5 Fridge Commandments for Seniors. The concept of 5 fridge commandments may sound lofty, but for seniors who cherish both the safety and the simple joys of daily meals, these guiding principles can turn an ordinary appliance into a trusted partner in health and independence. At its heart lies the understanding that a refrigerator is more than cold storage. It is a reflection of how you care for yourself, a silent assistant in meal planning, and a guardian against hidden dangers. By embracing these 5 imperatives, steering clear of foods that hate the cold, diligently labeling and dating, carving out a brief weekly cleaning ritual, choosing delights over mere convenience, and vigilantly maintaining proper temperatures and zones, you foster a kitchen environment that nourishes body and spirit alike. Imagine beginning each day with the confidence that what's inside your fridge was stored with intention. It all starts with recognizing that certain foods simply cannot thrive in cold, damp conditions. The familiar sight of tomatoes growing mealy, the softening of onions, or the darkening of banana skins are more than aesthetic disappointments. They signal a loss of flavor, texture, and nutritional value. By keeping these items at room temperature instead, on a countertop away from direct sunlight, or in a cool pantry, you allow their natural ripening processes to unfold. Seniors who delight in the vibrant tang of a sun-warmed tomato or the tender sweetness of a perfectly ripe banana will find each meal a small celebration. This simple act of preserving ingredients at their best not only honors the integrity of the food, but also honors your own palate, inviting satisfaction in every bite. Yet even the most conscientious cook can lose track of time, which is why the command to label and date every container becomes so vital. In the soft light of a Wednesday morning, it can be hard to recall when that container of chicken salad was tucked into the back of the fridge. By taking a moment to write the date and contents in clear, bold letters on each container, you eliminate guesswork and anxiety. There is no frantic sniff test or eyeing of questionable leftovers. Instead, you can glance inside, spot a neatly labeled box, and know at once whether its contents are ready to be enjoyed or warrant a respectful goodbye. This practice not only safeguards your health by preventing accidental consumption of spoiled food, but it also stretches your grocery budget by ensuring that nothing is overlooked until it has spoiled. For seniors managing fixed incomes or fixed routines, this gentle discipline brings peace of mind and a sense of mastery over daily life. Of course, even the most organized labeling system cannot compensate for a fridge that is cluttered or neglected. That is where the ritual of a weekly cleaning comes in. Carving out 5 minutes each week, perhaps on a Sunday afternoon when the kitchen feels quiet, allows you to sweep out crumbs, wipe away spills, and survey the shelves with fresh eyes. Anything past its prime can be discarded without guilt, and any spills that might harbor bacteria are swiftly removed. The small effort of this quick cleanup serves as both a physical safeguard and a moment of mindfulness. You pause, breathe, and renew your commitment to health. Over time, this brief routine becomes second nature, much like brushing your teeth, and the confidence it brings radiates into every meal you prepare. With safety and order in place, the next imperative reminds us that nourishment extends beyond mere sustenance. It encompasses pleasure and personal meaning. In the rush of modern living, it is all too easy to reach for whatever is quick or whoever happens to be on sale. But the Eat What Brings Joy principle encourages seniors to honor their own tastes and memories. Perhaps it is a few slices of a creamy, well-aged cheese, a small ramekin of raspberry preserves made by a dear friend, or a single square of dark chocolate that sparks a smile. By dedicating a tiny shelf or drawer to these special treats, no matter how modest, you create moments of warmth and delight each time the fridge door opens. This is not gluttony, it is an act of self-respect, a way to acknowledge that life's pleasures, even small ones, deserve a place in daily routines, especially as our portfolios of experiences grow richer with age. Finally, No system is complete without vigilant attention to temperature and organization zones. A thermometer clipped to the inside wall is a simple yet powerful tool. Seeing the needle at or below 4°C reassures you that cold-loving items remain safely chilled, while any upward drift becomes an early warning. Beyond that, dividing the interior into purposeful areas store raw meats on the bottom shelf in sealed, drip-proof containers, keep dairy and eggs in the middle where temperatures stay consistent, and reserve the top shelf for ready-to-eat leftovers. And condiments minimizes cross-contamination and makes every item easy to locate. Even the often overlooked crisper drawers play their part. By assigning one drawer to high humidity produce, like leafy greens, and another to fruits that prefer drier air, you extend freshness and reduce waste. For seniors with limited mobility or vision challenges, placing everyday essentials at eye level and heftier items on lower shelves transforms every reach into a safe, comfortable motion. When these 5 commandments come together, honoring ingredient needs, labeling and dating, cleaning routinely, choosing joy, and mastering temperature and layout, they form a harmonious approach to fridge management. No longer will you find yourself puzzled by a forgotten container or convinced that your refrigerator is simply a cold box. Instead, it becomes an ally that safeguards your health, supports your independence, and kindles small pleasures. In the gentle hum of its compressor, you hear the assurance that every meal begins with safety and ends with satisfaction, a daily testament to the thoughtful care you extend to yourself. And perhaps most importantly, this system invites a deeper connection to the ingredients that sustain us, to the memories they evoke, and to the simple rituals that bring order and peace to our homes. For seniors, these quiet commandments unlock not only better meals, but a richer, more confident way of living. Now that you've uncovered the secret list of 10 foods that never belong in the fridge, it's time to transform your kitchen routine. Picture yourself reaching for a perfectly ripe banana at just the right moment, or savoring the peppery bite of olive oil that's been stored like a treasure in a cool, dark pantry. By embracing these simple shifts honoring each ingredient's ideal home, you're not only reclaiming flavor and nutrition, but also nurturing your independence and well-being every single day. If this video has inspired you to rethink your fridge habits, tap that like button, subscribe for more senior-friendly kitchen wisdom, and share this with a friend who deserves to taste life at its fullest. Stay with us, because next week we'll dive into smart meal planning strategies that make cooking both effortless and empowering, because you deserve a kitchen that works as wonderfully as you do.